Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Vivid Naz, and today we'll be talking about For Honor. So, big times for Honor recently. They just released their beta, and with the release of their beta, it sparked a lot of controversy from the fans and the critics of the game, because the online component of the game is peer-to-peer instead of dedicated servers. Now, this has caused Reddit to go up in arms, even having a change.org about getting Ubisoft to change the server situation. Now, you might be wondering, why is this such a big deal? Well, such a big deal for everybody that's complaining because Ubisoft is fundamentally trying to market this game as a ranked game, as a skill-based game. And for a skill-based game to be taken seriously in the esports community and basically in anywhere else, it has to have dedicated servers. Now, this has been a long-running thing with games that are MOBAs. You got first-person shooters, and just generally any game that's even in the top 5 in Twitch has dedicated servers. Now, actually, after bringing this up in a subreddit that I posted quite a while ago, I told people that the only two concerns that I've mainly had for this game is the gear system and the peer-to-peer connection. After that, you had a bunch of comments discussing basically the peer-to-peer system and how they felt it shouldn't be in a game in 2017. It's releasing in 2017, especially when it's been marketing as a very high-skilled game, as I mentioned earlier. Now, after the beta has been released and people have got to try out the peer-to-peer connection, you have your one side are saying that it's completely fine, that they have no issue with the lag, that they haven't had any problems with it, basically. And then you have the other side who are saying that it's old, it's outdated, they have many problems depending on where they live, and it just depends on who's affected. Now, this has obviously been brought up by the whole front page of the For Honor, basically being about the whole peer-to-peer connection. Literally, you can go there at any point of the day and you at least find 3 or 4 at the top page talking about how they've been cheated out by the peer-to-peer connection, or telling people to calm down and stop talking about the peer-to-peer connection as it's not a big thing. So, for the people that don't know the difference between dedicated servers and peer-to-peer connection, so let me just give you a quick rundown of what they both are. The dedicated servers mean that all the clients get their information from the server that the game developers have set up. So the advantages of this is that the game's more stable, and it means that everyone's on the same level playing field, and it eliminates things such as like host advantages. And the disadvantages, of course, is that it costs money to set up these servers in the first place. Whereas peer-to-peer, the game delegates one player to basically become the server, and the other players have to connect to that player. This is a very old form of connection. It's only really used in lower player count games such as strategy games or 1v1 games nowadays. Of course, the advantages of this is that it costs no money to set up, but of course the disadvantages are very numerous. There is the instability, there is the host advantage from everyone connecting to the one player, there's obviously the synchronization issues, and much more. Now obviously, that is probably the most simplistic definition of the differences between dedicated servers and peer-to-peer connections that I can give you. But of course, you can tell that the dedicated servers are just a much better form of connection. Now, let me tell you what I think of the whole matter. Now, I've been playing the game for about 12 hours so far, and to give the game some benefits to start off with, I have not had that much problems with the peer-to-peer connection so far, but this is coming from someone who lives in the UK, a very, very densely populated location in the world. Now, obviously, people from all around the world, such as, let's talk about Australia, they will have much bigger problems than I would ever have. So peer-to-peer is much more of a global thing, a global problem. So you might have densely populated areas where people are saying that, you know what, I'm not having that much, it's not really having that much of effect on my gameplay, but other people might have much more bigger effect, as the distances between the clients might greatly affect the player. Now, saying that, I've had some problems. So every time the host leaves, obviously the game will go into host migration. Thankfully, this doesn't take too long, as you know, previous Call of Duties would take up to a minute to delegate a new host, but in this game it'll take like a couple of seconds to delegate a new host, and after that there'll be this weird sort of warping effect where everyone just kind of loses track of where they are on the battlefield, maybe because some data was lost during the changing of hosts. And also sometimes you might feel that players are warping out of nowhere to hit you, but of course that is the problem with peer-to-peer connections. Now, on Ubisoft's point of view, this has caused them a lot of damage. Now, You'll see this now across all of Reddit saying people have cancelled their pre-orders, people won't be buying the game, people will be waiting until it's deeply discounted to even consider buying the game. Now Ubisoft can't really come out and say, oh guys, we've got this new peer-to-peer system, and they did talk about how they've developed a new peer-to-peer system which kind of negates the whole host advantage and stuff like that, but people will just won't buy that bullshit anymore. Like, for them to make up to the players that have yet to make up their minds on the game, they have to outright say, we'll be moving the game to dedicated servers. Now, I'm sure they did the very same thing for Rainbow Six Vegas. Now, originally that was run on a peer-to-peer connection, and then after realizing we wanted to make it a ranked game and it was actually hurting the game having it on peer-to-peer connection, they decided to move it to dedicated servers. Now, this was after release, and this is only for the main game modes. Obviously, the voice chatting is still done through peer-to-peer, and one of the game modes is still done through peer-to-peer, but For Honor to succeed, it'll have to do that change quickly. It'll have to do it before release, preferably, and for Ubisoft to come out and make a statement about it. Now, obviously, this will reinvigorate the hope that people have had in the game. Now, doing this will definitely extinguish all the fires that are going on the subreddits. But anyway, this is kind of becoming kind of a long video, probably one of my longest videos that I've talked in, actually. Thank you very much for watching, and if you have your own point of view, please put them down in the comments and stick around. Probably do way more For Honor videos in the coming future. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day. Stay vivid.